Trudy Mason sitting in for Elias again this week, just chatting during the break with our next guest about how it seems that we've been hearing a lot about municipal politics in these last weeks. Usually when there's a municipal election in the fall, things don't really ramp up until after the back to school in September. That's when we really start paying more attention after the summer doldrums. But I don't think there was summer doldrums this summer. We've been talking to James Meny about that earlier in the summer. That doesn't exist anymore. And indeed, Luc Rabouin of Projet Montreal is agreeing we are seeing a lot of interest in municipal politics at a time when generally it would still be pretty slow. Thank you very much, Luc Rabouin, for coming into studio today.
Thank you, Trudy, for the invitation. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
So already you're like getting into a campaign footing because you have a major run at the mayoralty coming up as the new head of Projet Montreal, replacing Valerie Plante. And I think we've heard from you like 3 or 4 times just in the past number of days in the past week about issues that Montrealers have been talking about, that policies that the Plante administration brought in that maybe are not sitting very well with voters. Is it your intention to greatly retweak your party's policies heading into this election campaign, or are these just minor changes in your view?
Mm-hmm. When I was elected as the leader of Projet Montreal in last March, I engaged myself I say very clearly that our proposal that we will make in the next weeks for this campaign, the proposals will be aligned with the priority of the citizens. This is what I want to do. We have a new team that is coming with us. We have a lot of new people, and we have also experienced member of our party. I am member of this party, and I share the very basic values of the DNA of this party: social justice, inclusion, the environment. That is still very important for us. And I want to take that and to probably present it in a different way, because I have a 25 experience as a manager of different organizations. I have the experience of being mayor of a borough for 6 years. I was member of the executive committee. I know pretty well the city, how it works, and I also know what we have to change. And this is what I want to propose. Same values, same vision, but a different approach.
Well, let's talk about some of the things that have been in the news in recent days. On the Camillien-Eudes Parkway project, you've said a little pause there. You're going to be taking a look at the structure of that redesign of that eastern path up the side of the mountain. I think Valerie Plante took a lot of flack when her administration announced that it would go against the recommendations of the Consolidation Bureau and close that off completely to car traffic. Why are you deciding to take a little bit more time to take a look at this project?
Yeah, there's 2 main reasons. The first one is I want to focus all our resources and energy at the city of Montreal, if I am elected as a mayor, of course, to face urgency. We have homelessness, housing crisis. Everybody in the last weeks is talking about that. When I ask to the citizens, what should be our priorities? Homelessness, housing crisis. Nobody accepts the situation, and I don't accept that. So I want to focus on the priorities. Second thing, so we need the resource to do this. The second thing is I will not accept a project that will not include a shuttle to be able to respond to the criticism for elder people, people with problem of mobility, and parents with young children. I had, when my children were young, I was used to go by bus to take lessons of country skiing at the mountain. So I want to be sure that everybody could access the mountain. But that doesn't mean that I will keep cars. But I want to give an option for people to access to the mountain. So for me, it's very, very important. It's why we take a pause to be sure that we will be able to include that. No shuttle, no project.
That some people are kind of hoping there's not going to be a shuttle now because they were completely opposed to the closing of Camillien-Eudes. You're saying you're still committed to excluding people's cars.
Yes. I think that it's a very good project because we focus on the impeding cars, but we want to increase the mountain. We want to increase the park. This is the Mont-Royal is very, very important in terms of nature. When you live in the city, that is a place when we can access to nature, and there's a lot of million of people every year, more and more people. We have to protect the mountain, and the only way to increase the park is to use the camellia wood. So we will put more trees, we will facilitate the access of people who want to walk from one side to another side. So I think it's a good vision for the future of the Mont-Royal Park. Imagine if we were in 2025 and there was no road. Imagine that. Who will today propose to build a road to cross the mountain? I think nobody. But we want to do compromise. So we will keep the access by car, by the Remembrance side. That is something that will be still available. And from the other side, it will be by a shuttle or something that is public transit.
Is it just the logistical problem of making sure that the shuttle would have the lanes to go up and back? Is that what's the hitch on the shuttle service? Or is it the cost of running a shuttle and the buses you'd need and that type of stuff?
No, it's essentially the space. We have to be sure that we have the space for that. And we cannot have, the candidate for Ensemble Montréal said, we will do everything, protect pedestrians, keep cars, buses, secure safety. I should remind the people that Clément Ouimet died on Camellia Wood. This is important. It's why we are doing it also, is to secure everybody. But she doesn't make any choice. And at the end, she will have to choose. We cannot do everything. We cannot increase the nature, increase the safety of the cyclist, increase the place for pedestrian, and keep 2 lines of cars. It just doesn't work. And now it's very easy just to say, I will protect everybody. Everybody will be happy. It will not happen.
Let's talk about housing, because you mentioned that, and I agree, that's a huge, huge issue that people want addressed. One of your recent announcements is you're looking at tweaking that ability for developers to buy their way out of creating low-cost social housing, family housing. There was kind of a get-out-of-jail-free card they could get if they didn't want to include that type of housing in their project. They paid money and bought their way out of it. You're saying you want to take a different approach. How would that work?
The bylaw, the idea behind the bylaw, it's a very good idea, and I share that, because we want to be sure that we are building a city for everybody. So everybody has to be and continue to be able to live in our core city. It's not just the free market that will respond that. We just have to look at Toronto and Vancouver. If you want to live in central neighborhoods in these cities, you have to be rich. And in Montreal, it's an affordable city. And I want to protect that. So we ask to the developers to participate to this effort. And this was the idea behind the bylaw. But it's too complicated. It's so complicated that the developers decide just to pay. It's easier. But we don't want contribution. What we want is units, new units for people. And it's why I want to transform the bylaw. And I had a lot of discussion with developers. They said, okay, so we accept this idea that we have to be part of it, but please do it. Propose us a way that is simple, that we can plan it, and it will be easier. And I just want to give you the example of what we have at Îlot Voyageur. A private developer, Mondev, did a partnership with Utile, that it's a not-for-profit organization, to develop a project. Same thing than 2 days ago we announced in Bridge Bonaventure. Broccolini, private developers, made a partnership with Bâtir son Quartier, a not-for-profit, for 800 units. 400 will be out of the market. This is what we want. We want them to make partnership and to do it, and we don't want contribution at the City of Montreal. We don't want money. We want units. And the new bylaw will permit that.
Let's talk about the tweak of the garbage pickup in Mercier, Hochelaga, Maisonneuve. There were a lot of complaints over the summer, especially in the heat this summer, that once every 2 weeks, not enough. You've decided that after the election, it would be back to once a week during the summer.
Yeah.
Is this another example of the listening you say you're doing to the concentration on the basic things that people are telling you, ordinary people are telling you about life in Montreal?
Exactly. It's a good example. And it's important to understand where we come from, because the bi-weekly collect of garbage, it is implemented everywhere in the Montreal region. Even in Saint Laurent Borough, for example. Neighborhoods that are more suburban type, people have space to have a larger garbage bin, to have a backyard, or it's easy for them to do it every 2 weeks. And in Mercier-Schlager-Maisonneuve, it was the first time that we tried to implement spaced collect in a more dense neighborhood. So we needed the courage, the audacity to try it. And Pierre Lesablet decided to raise this hand and try it. And we tried it. And it works because we send less garbage to the landfill site that are already full. It works. People recycle more, compost more, but they said to us during the summer, please give us a break. It's just too hard with the smell. And we said, fine. And this decision permit to continue the biweekly collect 8 months a year. And the difference between us, Projet Montréal, and Ensemble Montréal, they will never have the courage to try this kind of innovation, that we have to do it for the environment. And we did it. We recognize the effort of the citizen. We listen to them and we say, thank you to participate it. We want you to continue. We will give you a break during the summer.
I want to ask you about how you're positioning yourself as leader of Projet Montreal. There are some people, some voters who became very frustrated with Valérie Plante. She was very well liked in some districts, not so well liked in others. Maybe her leadership style or her approach irritated people. By bringing out these little tweaks, these little adjustments in Plante administration policy, are you trying to tell those reluctant voters, those Valérie Plante non-fans, I'm not Valérie Plante, I have a different way of doing things?
Mm-hmm. I'm not Valérie Plante, I have a different way to doing things. That's true. But what is important is my style of the leadership, what I want to do, and I want to put to explain and to present, because people doesn't know me. I want to be still a leader that has the audacity or the courage to do things, to try new things, to innovate, because we have to face challenges, immense challenges, and the humility to listen and to adapt what we proposed with the reality. I am an hyper-pragmatic person, and this is where I will do, but I'm not, I will never defend the statu quo like Ensemble Montréal.
I want to ask you about Ensemble Montréal just very briefly because we have to go to traffic. We have Ensemble Montréal shaping up as your chief rival in this upcoming municipal election, but we also have several smaller parties now. We have Futur Montréal. We have Craig Sauvé's party, his fledgling party. Are you treating this as a two-way race? Or do you see that you have other rivals you are going to have to contend with?
I am so happy that a lot of persons are jumping in the municipal election. We need to preserve and valorize our democracy. You know what is happening at the south of the borders, and also some ideas that are circulating here in Canada. We have to defend the democracy. It's very, very important. For more people engaged to their city, more it's good for our democracy. So I encourage them, and I will discuss with them, and I hope the public debate will elevate and people will see the choice they have to make, and I hope, of course, they will choose Projet Montréal.
Luc Rabouin, leader of Projet Montréal, thank you very much for coming into studio.
Thank you.